Hi everyone, welcome back to the cocktail vlog. I'm Steve the bartender, and today I'm giving you a guide on what I'll be drinking on New Year's Eve. Now I've got three very different cocktails for you to try. The first is a very simple sour riff that I think is a great way to start the day. And then I've got two other cocktails, which they're batch cocktails. So it makes it a little bit easier for you so you don't have to be mixing up cocktails for you and friends. You can pre-batch these cocktails and then throw them in the fridge. One's a little bit more on the fruity and sweeter side, so it will please everyone. And then you've got something more spirit forward. So make sure you hang around and I'll run through the three cocktails. So I'll be starting my New Year's Eve with a Smoking Honey Hive, which is a creation of mine. Very simple riff on a classic sour, a classic gin sour. So just recently, I did a sponsored video for Warner's Gin. I used their rhubarb gin and made three different cocktails. I'll leave a link up here so you can check it out. And they very recently launched their Honeybee Gin here in Australia. So I went out and grabbed myself a bottle. It's delicious. It's got this like soft honey floral note to it. It's got about 28 botanicals in it, and then it's got a dob of their farm raised honey. Their honey from their farm. So essentially, I know it's New Year's Eve, I know it's cold in some places, and in Australia here it's going to be quite warm. So therefore I want to get the best of both worlds. So in Australia, a sour, citrusy, nice and vibrant. But then in the countries where it's cold, I've got the honey and the cinnamon aspect. So I think, and obviously the smoke, so this should work wherever you are. Fingers crossed. Shout out to Dimitri. He created the Smoke UFO. His company is called Loft Rocket. And I've been waiting to use this for quite some time. I was hoping that he would start up an Etsy store so I could refer you guys to his little creation. He's been following the channel for quite some time and was inspired to create a individual drink smoker. So essentially you put your little timber creation on the top, his Smoke UFO, and then you add your wood chips into the top, light it up, and it infuses smoke into your drink. Really easy way to do it. And I've only used it a couple times so far and it works fantastically. So, and the wood I'm using is a cherry wood. So first, let's start by making the drink. So let's start by measuring the ingredients. So 60 ml, 2 ounces of Warner's Honeybee Gin. Straight into the shaker. Then fresh lemon juice, 30 ml, 1 ounce. Really simple riff. So I've just taken a basic sour format. I used a Honeybee Gin. I've changed the sweetener to a cinnamon syrup to add a little bit of spice, and then smoked it at the end. Then 22.5 ml, 3/4 ounce of cinnamon syrup. So these are all flavors that I think go really well together: honey, cinnamon, and smoke. And lemon, of course. And I'm not using egg white today. I'm using, don't even know how to pronounce it. It's a French-Canadian foamer. Nori. And it calls for 1 dash. As an egg replacement. Egg white replacement, I should say. Add ice to the cocktail shaker. Do you need a dry shake? I don't know if you need a dry shake, but I'll do it anyway, just briefly. So the foam is actually made from a bark extract. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to strain it into the old-fashioned, smoke it, and then add ice. Of course, you can add ice first if you like. Thought I'd do it this way because we'll leave a bit of headroom so there can be plenty of smoke in there to infuse that flavor. Nice. As you can see, there's plenty of smoke that is transferred into the glass, so you should get a nice smoky flavour to the cocktail. plenty of smoke. I'm just garnishing with a lemon wedge. There you have a Smoking Honey Hive. Cheers. P.S. If you can think of a better name, let me know in the comments below. This is delicious. Damn. The smoke, I'd say, is more prominent on the nose, but it definitely adds to the drink. But as far as the drink goes, it's like velvety. You've got the foaming bitters, and that gives it a nice texture. And you get some light spice. I mean, this is not a very strong flavored cinnamon syrup, so you get this really delicate cinnamon spice to it. But that honeybee makes an absolutely delicious sour. And of course, if you don't have a smoker, then you could probably put a few drops of Islay whiskey and add that little bit of smokiness that way. Just coat the glass. You could also serve this drink up in a coupe. Completely up to you. Next drink we're making is the Bourbon Strawberry Iced Tea, which is a batch cocktail, and the full-size recipe serves 5, but I'm only doing half. So the recipe you see on the screen is what I'm going to be making, but if you want the full recipe to serve 5 people, it'll be in the description below. So 150 ml, 5 ounces of your preferred bourbon. I'm using yellow rose. And this one, you can measure the ingredients out and pour it straight into the bottle. This is about a ½ litre bottle, so it should be spot on. Next, the lemon juice. So 75 ml, 2.5 ounces. Ah! Lemon juice in the eye. So actually, a lot of drinks I try for the first time on the channel, and I was a little bit wary of this one, so I made it prior, and I was very pleasantly surprised. Really simple drink, you can pre-batch it, super easy to serve, and there's only a couple of quick steps to serve this drink. So what I'll do, I'll simply batch it all in the bottle, you keep it in the fridge, and then when it comes time to serving, you just muddle the strawberries and pour it over ice. Easy. So 75 ml, 2.5 ounces, and I'll give it a fine strain at the same time. Then 60 ml of simple syrup, 2 ounces. And last ingredient is an unsweetened iced tea. So this is just homemade. It's essentially English breakfast tea, 1 tea bag to each 250 ml. So 225 ml, which is 7.5 ounces. Then keep it in the fridge until you're ready to serve. Okay, on to the individual drink preparation. I've had the bourbon iced tea sitting in the fridge for some time, and I want to grab a large strawberry, 2 strawberries if they're a little bit small, and then chop them up roughly and throw them into the glass before muddling. Once the strawberry's been pulverized, add ice and then pour over your bourbon iced tea. And for garnish, you can either use a strawberry on the side of the glass or a couple of sprigs of mint. Completely up to you. Could do both. There you have a bourbon strawberry iced tea. Cheers. Like, super easy drinking. If you love your whiskey, love strawberries, then this flavor combination works really well. Strawberry and tea, great combination. It's super handy that it's pre-batched. It's not carbonated, so it will keep really well in the bottle. Make it up in the morning and you're good to go. Very easy, great for a hot day. And tea drinks are really growing on me. I've done a few recently. I've done the Earl Grey Martini, which I'll link to up here in the description so you can check that out. That's a fantastic cocktail. Fish House Punch, that's another one. I haven't had too many other than those, but that's 3 out of 3 so far. So I think I'm gonna have to have more tea cocktails. And one for the fans of spirit-forward drinks, I'm making the Manhattan. So this recipe, or this ratio, comes from the Liquid Intelligence cocktail book by Dave Arnold. I'll link to that in the description below so you can check it out. A fantastic book, and it delves into more of the science side of drinks. Yeah, so this is relatively super easy. You can batch it up, keep it in the fridge. Again, the size of the drink that I'm doing is a half size serve. If you do the full size, which is in the description below, it'll make 9 Manhattans. So 500 ml, we'll only do 4.5 Manhattans, roughly. So choose your preferred rye. I'm using Whistle Pig 10 and measure out 270 ml or 9 ounces. And again, pour it straight into the bottle. And this is a 2-to-1 ratio of rye whiskey to sweet vermouth. So 135 ml, 4.5 ounces of sweet vermouth. And this is Carpagno Antica formula. Follow that with 9 dashes of Angostura bitters. And of course, you have to account for dilution, which normally occurs when you're stirring down the cocktail. We're serving it straight from the fridge, so you need to add filtered water into this. 195 ml or 6.5 ounces. And this is good, it's not gonna quite fit. I think I measured about 30 ml too much in the measuring jug. Now with the Manhattan, you want to serve it very cold. A normal fridge will be about 4 degrees Celsius. Freezer will be about -20. You want to serve the cocktail at -5. That's probably around the ideal temperature. So the best way to do so is by serving it off ice. So if you're having a party and you can prepare this in the morning, keep it in the fridge, and just before your friends come around, keep it on ice. You can salt the ice and it will get it even colder, and it'll probably get it closer to that -5 degree temperature. Otherwise you could transfer it to the freezer for a short period and then serve it up. My bottled Manhattan has been sitting on ice for quite some time now. I've got a small coupe glass. Keep in mind that the drink is about 135 ml, so you want to use a small coupe or like a Nick and Nora. That works really well. Keep in mind you want to have a wash line as well, so meaning don't fill it up to the very brim, and that should roughly be 1 serve, 135 ml, or 4.5 ounces, 4.5 ounces. They have a bottled Manhattan. Cheers. Excellent. Whistle Pig Rye 10-year makes a fantastic Manhattan. Another alternative, Rittenhouse would be a really popular choice. You can use whatever rye, bourbon whiskey if you like, completely up to you. Before I duck off to enjoy my New Year's Eve, make sure you guys have a safe one, and I'll see you in 2022.